This industrial film from the 1950s, when I was growing up, reflects the pride of America for its way of life and marvelous productivity.
We take our American comforts and conveniences pretty much for granted. In our homes, we are surrounded by 20th century miracles. Miracles which are not exclusively American, but which are here so commonplace that they are seldom regarded as miracles anymore.
Dinner's ready. Come and get it.
Hey, that's for me.
Let me have it.
Gravy and lots of it.
Jimmy, wait till everyone's served.
Yes, Jimmy, we'll have some manners here if you don't mind.
Jimmy ain't got no manners. Jimmy hasn't any manners. All right, any manners.
Oh, Jimmy, we forgot your food prayer.
Yes, sir. Lord, we thank you for that food and thy loving care. Amen.
Yes, it's all pretty commonplace in America, isn't it? The comfortable homes we live in, the cars parked at the door, the bikes and mechanical gadgets of all kinds, schools where every child has a right to expect an education, satisfying recreation for everybody, leisure time in which to enjoy it. Americans, you are in luck. Of course, you've worked for it. You've made the land hum with the song of your toil. But people in other lands and in other times have worked too, worked hard to eke out a mere existence. Why have we been so remarkably successful at it? Why have we been able to make this land of ours so productive? Nature's been pretty lavish, of course. We've lived under a governmental system, the first on earth to make each man the captain of his soul. We've had enterprise, our great inheritance from ambitious and freedom-loving forebears. All these are parts of the American mural, parts of the reason for our golden horn of plenty. But look further. Why a car like this that a man of average means can afford to own? If every American had to build his own automobile with materials of his own gathering and with tools of his own contriving, there would be very few automobiles in the land. Where would an individual get the steel to mold into this beautiful-looking body? Where the vast presses to shape it? Where is the raw rubber to make these tires? The tough fabric to weave with it? These things are as widely scattered as the four winds, or they were until wheels brought them together. The magic of our modern horn of plenty is the magic of mobility, the magic of the greatest interchange of goods and of services which the world has ever known. Take the farm machinery, which helps to make our soil the most productive on earth. This tractor contains quantities of steel which came from the iron ore of the Mesabi Range in northern Minnesota. That ore came hundreds of miles by rail and by boat to the mills along the fringes of the Great Lakes. It was refined with the use of coal and limestone and other elements which were brought great distances. Hundreds of types of raw materials and of semi-finished materials and fabricated parts have to be brought together into a single factory before such a complex mechanism as a tractor or a reaper or a threshing machine can be put together. Each great factory such as this makes use of countless carloads of materials during the course of a year, turns out thousands upon thousands of pieces of machinery, machinery which is sent to every corner of America and to the four corners of the world, for that matter, where farmers need it to till the soil efficiently. Machinery sent at a price which nearly every farmer can afford because it is manufactured by the American mass production method, the method which mass transportation made possible. Railroads have been building for the future. During the past few years, billions of dollars have been spent on America's rail lines. The Rock Island lines have been in the forefront of this building program. During the past decade, this railroad has rebuilt and modernized plant and structure more thoroughly than most of the nation's major lines. This program of planned progress has placed the Rock Island in position to give a service to shippers and travelers which is unsurpassed. Rock Island occupies a strategic position on the railroad map of the nation. Its lines serve 14 of the most productive and diversified states in the Union. 8,000 miles of modern steel rails are in its network. This is a fabulous empire, this Rock Island wonderland, which stretches westward from Chicago, St. Louis, and Memphis to the mountains of the west and through its friendly connections onto the Pacific coast. It reaches from the twin cities of the North Star State to the Gulf ports of Houston, Texas City, and Galveston of the Lone Star State. It is an empire dotted with great and growing cities where much of the nation's business is done. It is an empire of prairie vastnesses and of broad, rich valleys where growing things abound. It is an empire of progress and opportunity unsurpassed. Since 1852, the Rock Island has been helping industry to grow and expand in this area. Modern bridges have been built to handle these tremendous loads. Spectacular in Rock Island's bridge program is this great structure over the Cimarron in western Kansas. Its building was one of the outstanding feats of railroading. Its construction, together with track relocation, grade elimination, and curve reduction, aided greatly in speeding up transcontinental freight and passenger schedules, thus making Rock Island the preferred route between east and west. All Rock Island main lines are genuine speedways. Curves and grades have been reduced to a minimum. Over these superhighways of steel, rocket freights and rocket passenger trains travel with speed, with safety, with dependability far in excess of anything mass transportation knew a few short years ago. Improvements in motive power, of course, have been spectacular. The modern diesel-electric locomotive, adopted by the Rock Island shortly after its first introduction, has all but replaced the old iron horse. Along with improved steam locomotives, which still have their place on modern railroads, diesels give the Rock Island a capacity to move tremendous quantities of the nation's goods with a dispatch which is truly revolutionary. A vast fleet of new and of continually reconditioned freight cars of all types is part of the equipment reservoir of the modern Rock Island. The most modern devices for traffic control ensure the swift, safe, and dependable movement of Rock Island trains. On the busiest sections of the line, centralized traffic control is in operation. This system eliminates countless delays in the dispatching of trains, enabling one man to see at a glance and to control the movement of all trains in his control area. A movement of a hand, and he has thrown electrically a switch which may be many miles distant from him. This enables a train to take another track without delay. Centralized traffic control actually makes one track do the work of two tracks the work of four. It assures a continuous maximum flow of traffic in either direction with the utmost of safety. Classification yards, which are miracles of automatic operation, are another Rock Island development designed to accelerate the speed with which freight is handled. Whole cuts of cars like this move over the hump and are sorted in a matter of minutes so that they may be made up into trains for various destinations. In these yards, the cars move entirely by force of gravity. Their movement is controlled by skilled towermen whose control boards move distant switches. They also actuate pneumatic retarders to regulate the speed of the cars. So perfect is the control which each operator has over the cars in his section of the yard that they move with velvet smoothness to their appointed positions and take their place in the string with never a bump or a jar. Rock Island service standards have kept pace with the physical development of the railroad. The emphasis is increasingly on mechanical methods, on ways which will save time, save cost for the shipper. Mobility is the most vital ingredient in America's system of mass production. American railroads, like the planned progress, Rock Island, are making it possible for us to expand the horizons of American business and to bring the good things of life to more and more people.